Hey, it's Kim, and I sat down to set up January in my new 2023 planner, and I started making all of this mess, and then I was like, why not just pull out the camera and film it? So that's what we're doing today. The lighting is not the best today. It's kind of like a gloomy, wet, rainy day out, but we're just gonna go with it, and I feel like that is like the perfect weather to just sit down and plan. Am I right, or am I right? But and I was really excited, of course, to get into my new planner for 2023. This is a cut down Hobonichi cousin. I have a couple of videos about this. I do have videos showing, well, when I first started using a standard size Hobonichi cousin, but also videos showing when I started setting this one up. So there are certain things that I tipped in and glued in and pasted in. So you can check that video out. I'll have it linked for you, either down below or up in the cards or somewhere. And as I usually do, I did sit down to plot out what I'm going to do for January. So I wanted to plot out the colors of Tombow markers or highlighters I'll be using for the month, as well as get a color scheme for the washies and things that I like to use for the month as well. So I did that already, which is where a lot of this mess comes in. It's exactly why there's a lot of that mess here. But I was so excited to start using the January kit from Sterling Ink. So I did use the Sterling Ink sticker kits all of 2022, and I will continue into the foreseeable future. And I was just really excited about this really beautiful kit. The vellums are really just what I love the most. This one especially. So this one is so pretty, and I wish I can find a place to use it so that I won't have to cut it. I'm thinking like in a clear cover on the outside of some kind of book. I'm definitely going to use that somehow. I do have a few A5 size books, but actually this is an 8.5 by 11, so that will not work. I just have to think about it. I'm going to use this as the cover on something. It is so beautiful. And I'm not cutting this up. This one I might cut. Normally I like to cut down a piece of paper, a piece of decorative vellum to use to cover some of my notes pages in my planner. So that is what I'll likely do with this one. So I have everything set up. I'm not going to walk you through the entire kit. It really is a beautiful one. You'll see me using pieces and parts as we go along. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what the January collection looks like. So you can, of course, check out the Sterling Ink website if you want to get a better look at a lot of the other things that are available. Also, I'm pretty sure somebody is going to do a first look or first impressions of the January Sterling Ink kit, because it is amazing. And there were also a few additions that Catherine included this year. Namely, one of these is the monthly tabs. So that's these, which originally I was thinking I wouldn't even have a use for, but then again I'm like, duh, I put tabs to mark the months in my notes pages, and I do them along the top. So that is likely what I'm going to use these tabs for. Just one out of the 4. She gives you 4, which is extremely generous. So that's what I'm going to use, but we'll get there. First, I want to set up January. So the January monthly, and that's what I have here. So let's get a closer look. That's what I have here, and I'm just going to get started. I have a general idea of what I want to include on this layout. There aren't a lot of appointments or things that I have going on for the month, I don't believe. No, I don't think so. So what I'm going to do is first start out by using this washi. I want to put this washi tape or this washi strip at the bottom of the page here, so that it'll be the bottom border, because I kind of want to fill this entire page with all of the stickers I can, because again, this kit is beautiful. So I'll put this section on this side, and I don't mind if it like overlaps onto the days too much. I'll just write around it. And I do find that I am able to actually write on these stickers using my regular fountain pen ink, which is the Diatramentis document ink. So I would imagine that you can write on top of these stickers if you needed to with almost any ink. Maybe not a gel ink, but I don't know. I've not tried it actually. If you do know, feel free to let us know down in the comments. But I do appreciate that you can write on them, because a lot of stickers you can't. So then you have to be a little particular about where you place them. So that's going to be the bottom border for here, and then I'll put the label for the month up top. And I really want to bring in a lot of this green that I see in the kit. So it's more like I don't know, what would I call it? Like a dark green, definitely, but sort of with some brownish kind of undertones. So that's what I want to do with this washi tape. I actually don't quite remember where this washi is from. I don't think it's from Amazon. Not sure where I got it, but it's a really pretty color nonetheless. So what I want to do is use one of these half stickers up here, and I know it's kind of hard to see exactly what I'm doing because I don't have this, well, because it's like on a transparent backing and you can't really tell what the heck I'm talking about. But I'm thinking I'll do this around there. So I'll let the tape, the washi tape, come here. So I want to kind of build on top of this washi tape. And that was already crooked, but it's fine. And better. Alright, so I'll use this to cut the washi tape. And then right on top of that, I want to layer this sticker here. And then put the January label at the top right. Okay. I'll get it together eventually to make sure that you guys can see all of what I'm doing. So I'm going to lay this sticker here. And then go in with the January header. And I don't at all mind if it covers up the days of the week. I mean, I know what they are. So I do like it like that, to kind of overlap. So hopefully I can get it in the same spot that I tested it out on. So I think right there is pretty good. And that is beautiful. So this is the main deco for the month. I think I might put something little up there, and we'll get to that. But before I do that, I do want to lay down dates. I only have one date at the moment, and that is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, because we have no school and no work that day. So which marker do I want to use for the entire monthly? I'm leaning more towards this N57. It's a greenish, I'm sorry, a gray color, and it's very warm, but I do feel like it has greenish undertones, and it might work well with the green that I'm trying to pull out here. The other Tombow, the 228, might be a little bit too bright, but actually it might work as a highlight. But anyway, so I want to put, I'll normally put like a large icon on one of these boxes where we do have a day off, because I'm not doing a whole lot on that day anyway in terms of scheduling appointments and things. So this one, might actually be pretty cool. It takes up the majority of the box, but I could still write around it if I needed to. So that's an option. I think I'll just use that one. And like I said, I don't have a lot going on this month, in the month of January. So what I think I'm going to do, what I typically like to do in those situations, is just stick a bunch of stickers throughout the month, just making sure that they don't cover up any one particular box too much. So that's what I would use these stickers for. These are kind of like corner stickers, or ones you would put along an edge, like this one. That one's a nice one. Oops. It almost looks like it goes, put it there, let's put it here. Like it trails off on the left side, so it would look good. Like it doesn't quite have a start line. So that's nice. And then, oh, you know what? I think I might have an appointment around the 1, 2, 3, somewhere in this week. I won't put any stickers down for that just yet, but let's do this one. This pretty vase of flowers, and I'll put it sort of in between the date boxes, so that, like I said, it's not taking up too much space inside of one, and I can still write around it. So this I'm loving. It's sort of simple, but not. Still has a lot of deco going on, but the colors are really muted and neutral and quite beautiful. Before I do move on from here, I am going to put my little lines that I used to separate this last box. So because I cut off the edge of the Hobonichi Cousin, I do cut off the Sunday column. And as I've been using this for the past year, I haven't had any problems doing that. I haven't, you know, needed to have a full box for a Sunday or run out of any room or space. So it's worked just fine. So I did that very quickly with a pencil. And then next I'll get into what I call my collection pages. So my notes pages start here. Here's my inbox. There is a little label there in clear that says inbox, which, can you even see it? Yeah, it's there, trust me. And then the next page is that blank page that I don't typically like to write on because I want lines and I want grids. So I use this on the right hand side to do my swatches, planning out for January. And then I'll turn the page, and that's where I'm going to get into my collection pages. So on the left is going to be my tracker, on the right is going to be my one line a day. And then as you turn the page, something I did institute the last 2 months of 2022, I've started actually including a review page, or like a monthly reflections. So, and also a goal focus page. So on the left is going to be my goal focus, on the right is going to be my monthly reflection that I won't complete until after the month is over. But I'll show you what I do for that side in the meantime. But right now I'm going to white out this area up top. I don't always do it, but I do it most of the time. And I have like a million of these, so there's no concern with doing that every time I need to. So this is the vellum that was included in the subscription kit. And it is B6 size, but I did trim it down on both sides so that it would fit nicely in this standard size planner. So I'm not going to tip this in just yet. What I'd like to do is get my tracker laid down as well as my one line a day. So wait a minute. What did I just highlight? Oh, I highlighted this section. Okay, not highlight, white out. So I'm going to white out this section as well. Alright, so those are the basic bones of my tracker as well as my 1 line a day. Now I'll throw in some deco, and I want to do some washi. I think I want to do this one. This is from Papermint. No, it's not. This is something that I got on Etsy. Okay. I do feel like any washi with letters or writing on it, I do feel like there's like a right and wrong direction. So I'll put that down. And then this one might be from Paperminty Studio. It is floral, but it's actually like a textured kind of washi tape. It's hard to describe. It feels a little thicker than typical washi. And for that reason, I'll need to cut it with, it's crooked. I'll need to cut it with scissors. So that's really nice. Goes along with the florals that we have going on. And then I'm going to add some deco to this side of the page. Usually I'll put like a large scene sticker in the bottom corner here. I think I want to do that. This larger sticker that came in the kit, I'm going to use this one to put down at the bottom. So pretty. And then this is going to go over top of that. So it's going to layer over it just a little bit. But not cover it up too much, because I'm going to, instead of centering this vellum in the page, I'll make it go all the way up to the top, because this is where I'm going to put my tab. Yes. Alright, before I put this vellum in though, I want to do my title. And I want to use the darker marker in order to do that. So this one was the N57, and I'm just hesitating a little bit because sometimes I don't want the really thick tip of the brush marker, and maybe I'll do it with the bullet tip, but it's kind of hard sometimes to write over top of what I just whited out. So let's see how it looks. Yeah, it's kind of not easy. Okay, so I'll just have to go over these letters a little bit more to make them look less terrible, or am I making them worse? I don't know. Maybe it's a little easier to use the brush tip to even them out. I don't know if that's better or worse. I just made that E a lot worse. But, oh, and you couldn't even see me, so sorry about that. So I wrote 1 line a day up at the top. I would like some other sticker or a little bit of deco to go like around that, but it can't impede on these lines too much because I still need to, you know, have enough space in order to fill in whatever I want to write. So that one's not bad. I think I'll use this one. Put that right on the corner, and now I'm ready to tip in the January calendar. I'm just going to use some transparent tape in order to do that, and I like to stick it down onto something with like a plastic backing so that it doesn't rip whatever paper is underneath. So line it up on the right side and then just let it fall, and nope, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. It grabs onto the paper, onto the page on the left too soon. Alright, let's try it one more time. Alright, that should be good. Let's hope. Okay, I call that good enough. All right, so that is the start of the collection pages, and then before I move on, I'll just put the title on this page. That's my tracker. All right, so then the next page, so since I'm doing the goals on the left and the reflection on the right, I am still toying with how I'm setting up these two pages because like I said, I've only been doing it for November and December. So typically on the right hand side, I'll put a title, but we like to add deco just the same. Maybe I can use that other thicker washi strip and do that way, and do like half. I think that's exactly what I want to do. Half on this page, half on that page. So I'm not even cutting it perfectly center. I'm just, eyeballing it. I'm not going to measure it. And then let's do this side. So something that I'm going to do, I want to use this label maker, which you just saw me flipping the pages. I wanted to see, because it's hard to write on top of it on the opposing page, so I just wanted to see like where this lines up. So if I do, like, if I put goals here, it's just going to be right underneath that title, so I won't need to write on top of it. And then if I put reflections here, it is going to be up here. May or may not interfere with whatever I'm putting on this page, especially if this is a daily page. I typically will write in this area here, so it may not go all the way over to the right, but I'm going to try it and see. So we'll do goals. Did it cut? It almost cut a little too close to the S, but I think that'll be fine. And then reflection, which is a pretty long word for the purpose of, should I do reflection or recap? No, it's gonna be a reflection. I have to think of a shorter word, at least if I continue trying to use labels like this. If you have any idea of like what other kind of word I could use, please let me know. To explain, like I want to do like I'm assessing how the month went. So a recap, I feel like in my brain, I'm just telling you what happened during the month, you know. I'm not really talking about how things went and if things went well or anything like that. So reflection is the best word I can think of at the moment. Alright. And I want to even this out on the end. Alright, so that's going to be my goals and reflection page. So the thing that I mentioned, so since I'm not filling this out until the end of the month, what I've been doing is using this as a sort of inbox. Over the past 2 months, well, November and December, I've also been trying to figure out how my inbox system is going to work. So I was doing an inbox system in my companion planner. I do have a video all about that, but I quickly abandoned that. I want to say like the beginning part of the year, after like the first quarter of 2022. So that didn't work out too well for me. And I was doing what I call a monthly task list also in my collection pages. So instead of the goal pages, it was my monthly task list here. Eventually, like mid-year, I abandoned that as well. It just wasn't working out for me. But in November and December, actually October, November, and December of 2022, what I started doing is creating an inbox, but an inbox of sticky notes. Because I noticed something about myself, at least. If it's a sticky note, it feels more like a call to action. It feels like it's something I have to process and I have to move it along. They just aren't gonna live in my planner forever. So I have these sticky notes from Paper Test Designs, and I just printed out a bunch of them, and I have them on this little piece of acrylic, and I keep this in the back of my planner. Is it called acrylic? What is this called? Acetate, yes. So I keep that in the back of my planner, and I will park these onto, this is like my sticky note dashboard. So I'll park these here and use them as I need to. And I will say, for instance, this one is for add to planner. So like if I have one for December and I don't quite fill it up, I may just migrate it over here. So if I only have like 3 items on there from December and I still have all of these lines left, I'll just check off that I completed those 3 items and then move this into January and continue on. So I don't use a fresh sticky note for each month because I feel like that would be a little bit wasteful. And then I like to use something for my inbox, and there is an inbox one here, but it does have categories that I would check off, and I feel like I like to be able to go all the way across the page in order to write something down. So I'm going to use this brain dump one for this month. So that's pretty much all of what I might have in here. Also, I might sometimes do like one sticky note for meal ideas. So all the meal ideas for the month, like if I took an inventory of what we have in the freezer or the pantry and I want to make sure to use up some certain things, I'll have a sticky note here and have that just to illustrate, or have that just to list out all of the meals I want to make sure that we have for this month. So that's that. And then over on the left hand side, I do have 6 goal categories, and I typically will write out like a little bit of a blurb. Sometimes it's a bulleted list, sometimes it's a few sentences about what I want to focus on for that goal category. Though I have 6 goal categories, however, I've noticed that not all of them need my attention every single month. So that is something I've sort of switched up over the past few months. So I do know for January though, I want to get focused on all of my goals and kind of really hone in on what's needed and what's not. And there are a lot of business goals that I have at the top of my list. So my categories are spiritual, relationships, personal development, health and fitness, finances, and business. So going through that list, I already have a health and fitness journal or planner, and I actually did post a video about that not too long ago, so if you're interested in that, you can check that out over there. So that kind of would sum up any of the goals or the goal focuses that I might have for that area, so I won't need that here. The spiritual I also do not need here. Relationships, don't need here. So then that leaves personal development, which I definitely want to have, finances, and business. And I think I actually do want all three of those for this month. So I'm just gonna make a header for each of those. What was it? Personal development, finances, and business. This is going to be business, and then finances can be a little bit smaller of a section. So that's that. And then I want to write in my titles for each of these, but I want to do it in a bolder pen than this one. So let me pull that out. Okay, so this micron I have is a little bit thicker. So this one was personal development, and then it was business, and then finances. Okay, so all of that is set up and ready, and here is where I would get into my daily pages, unless I come up with some other idea or some other notes page that I need to jot down before the dailies for January actually start. So that's that. So let me flip you back through. Let's take it from the top. So here is the calendar layout for the month, and I'm really pleased with how this has come together. I haven't even written anything in yet. The only thing, like I said, I have to write is the fact that we have no school and no work on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but I will remember that. So there's nothing else. Oh, there is a birthday on the 1st. I'm going to put a little icon there just to remind me that I have a birthday on the 1st, and I don't want to repeat any of the stickers that I've already used. Let's do this one. Okay, so I will put this here and then come back and write that in at a later date. So that's my monthly. Oh, and as I'm flipping to my collection pages, I forgot that I didn't put the tab that I was talking about. I didn't put the tab I was talking about up there, so let me put the tab on. And as my notes pages fill up, this is how I would flip to the current month. I usually in 2022 was using a I can't talk and make sure this folds, and I have to pull this closer to me. Okay, I'm back. So I will put like a little sticky kind of flag. Actually, it looks better on that side. Oh well. Up at the top to indicate where each month starts. So this will be January. For instance, if I'm any place else in the book, I can quickly tab to January. Then I'll have February, March, April, May, so on and so forth. Okay. So now we can show you the collection pages. On the left is my tracker for the month. On the right is my one line a day with the monthly calendar tipped right in on vellum. And then the next section of my collection pages would be my goals on the left and reflections on the right. I will go back and put some bulleted points as December wraps up of what I want to focus on in these categories for January. So that's something I would do closer to the start of the month. And then on the right hand side, this is like my inbox dashboard, my sticky note dashboard that I will come to, and I'll, you know, check things off during the month if I have any ideas or thoughts that I need to put down. If I have any post ideas for Instagram, for instance, or even for YouTube video ideas, I might park them here until I move them over to my business planner. And then I have an add to planner one. If I have any ideas or lists or collections I might want to add to my planner going forward, I would park that here. And then as the month ends, I make sure to process all of these sticky notes. So all of the items that I put on here, I gotta cross them off, check them off. If they haven't been done, I have to assess whether I want to migrate them to the next month or just cancel them altogether. That happens a lot. That happens a lot more often than I ever thought they would. But it really helps me hone in on how I'm using my time and whether or not it would be a waste of time to really pursue certain ideas that I might have. So anyway, once I process all of those, and as the month of January wraps up, we start into February, then I'll sit down and do a reflection about January. I like to reflect on how it went, what things didn't work, things I'd like to improve for February, and all of that. I can do a video in the future all about my monthly wrap up and monthly reflections. If anyone is interested, of course, just leave me a comment down below and I'll put that video together. I thank you so much for watching today's video, and I truly do appreciate you. Again, if there are any questions that you might have, leave them down below and I'll get right back to you. I truly hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.